I feel thin, sort of stretched, like butter scraped over too much bread.
Alright, I love that quote, obviously, because I use it in my real life. I think it's a really great mental image, because it's really easily relatable. Like, if you, for example, if you imagine the butter is all the fucks you have to give about something, and then the bread's like that thing that you have to do that you don't really want to do, but you still have to do it, and you're scraping out that butter, trying to get it to go all the way over the bread, and it's just not happening for you, and you have officially run out of fucks to give because there's no store that sells fucks like they sell butter. Situations that I use this in for my real life, where I'm done, I'm tired, I'm done, I don't even care. That would be A, work, B, school, C, any sort of exam I've ever taken. It's a really bad comparison, but it's like how Bilbo feels. He's just done. He's just done with everything. And so I relate to that. I understand you, Bilbo. We get each other.
Leave now and never come back.
So you know how everybody's mind just kind of got like this whole good side, bad side? In my head, I like to call them Smeagol and Gollum. So inner Gollum is sort of just like that asshole who's a real dick to you, but he lives inside your head. My Gollum and Smeagol are just like everybody else, except for the fact that my inner Gollum doesn't try and make me murder people and then bring about the doom of an entire world, but it could escalate to that point someday. I don't know. Not yet. We'll see. Inner Gollum just sort of likes to kick your self-esteem in the nuts. Just a good, hard, cheap shot right to your balls. He's that asshole in your head that's like, you look really fat in that. Oh, are you gonna eat that 6 bowl of ice cream? Why don't you go cry about it? You're so ugly. Ugh. It makes you feel bad about yourself. And gets you to try and kill people. Sometimes. So then what happens is they usually get into this sort of internal extreme debate of words, where one side of my head will be like, ugh, you know what? You're fat. I don't even like you. And the other side of my head will be like, just leave me alone, okay? I didn't ever do anything to you. And they'll just keep picking. And finally the other one's just like, oh, leave now and never come back. And he does. Away he goes. For like an hour. The amount of time it takes for my inner Gollum to come back is about as long as the time it takes for Pippin to do something really stupid and life-threatening in already really dangerous situations.
I do believe the worst is behind us.
I love this quote. I'm gonna set myself up for some really great dramatic irony because I love literary devices, and I'm gonna say this at my graduation. That way, 4 years down the line, when I'm nearing my college graduation, I can just look back and be like, you dumb son of a bitch. You're so stupid. It'll be just like for everyone who read The Hobbit and then saw the movie and saw Bilbo say that, and you're just like, no. Don't be ridiculous.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Let's be real. Who doesn't use this line? It's so applicable to everyday life that if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, this is one of the absolute quotes you know. Even if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, it's one of the quotes everybody knows. So yeah, in my real life, obviously, I use this for everything. Coincidentally, the situation list is exactly the same as number 1. So that would be A, work, B, school, C, exams, Actually, I've showed up for quite a few, like, particularly important exams pretty late. I showed up for my PSAT late because the entire day at school was sex ed, and I decided to skip and go see Lion King in theaters. And I showed up late for my PSAT without a calculator or a pencil. It's okay, because I never got my scores back, so I never know how I did. I happened to, unfortunately, also show up late to my SAT with more forgotten materials, like my ID. I basically like to use this a lot to, 1, have an excuse as to why I'm late, 2, prove that I'm not late, and 3, through a series of proofs, therefore prove that I am a wizard and a magical being. Unfortunately, most of the education system does not see it the way I do, so I have a lot of lates on my record. Overall, I would say this is just one of those lines where it's like, F it, I'm gonna be late anyways. You know what? I don't ever show up late. It's fine. I'm not late. I'm right on time. It's fine. It's fine. I planned it. I'm fashionably late to everything. Which for me is on time, because late is not a thing that exists. For me. He was number 1.
In place of a Dark Lord, you would have a queen! Not dark, but beautiful and terrible as the dawn! Treacherous as the sea! Stronger than the foundations of the earth! All shall love me and despair!
This is probably, like, my all-time favorite thing that I say in my head to myself from Lord of the Rings. I say this quote in my head a lot, but occasionally it slips out of my mouth and I actually say these words with people around me. Situations I would use this in. Pretty much any time I get a compliment or I'm feeling particularly narcissistic about myself. Like, you've got those days where you wake up and you're just like, ooh, look at you. I do you. I do me. Yeah. It's one of those things that pops up in my head anytime somebody compliments me or something. They're like, oh my god, you look really pretty today. And on the outside, I'm like, stop it, you're so nice. Really? No, I don't. No, come on. But then, on the inside, in my head, it's just sort of like, all shall love me and despair. So yeah, there's my top 5 countdown. Super exciting. While there's a lot of lines in Lord of the Rings that I really, really like and I just think are really funny, there's also just a few that sort of resonate with me a bit. Even though they're not things that I say in real life, like this one.
Should never have run out my door.
You're homesick. I understand.
No, you don't. You don't understand. None of you do. You're dwarves. You're used to this life, to living on the road, never settling in one place, not belonging anywhere.
Oh, that one gets me. Right in my feels. It's like, I understand those dwarves. I get it. I get where they're coming from. I sympathize with them. Because, like, I've moved, we counted it up the other day. It was 18 times in my entire very short life period. So, I get the whole, like, oh, we don't have a home, we don't belong anywhere kind of thing. It got me right here. Actually, it's more like a little bit over there. Because that's where my heart is. This is just my chest. I connect more with Feely and Keely because they never really had that, so they don't know what it's like, and then they hear other people talk about home and stuff, and how it's this really great place, and oh, everybody needs it, everybody should go there, and you're just kind of like, okay, I guess so. Let's take back Erebor. Let's go find a home. But you've never really been there, and you don't really know what it's like, so you can't really relate, and you're just trying to. And sometimes I get, like, I relate to them because I get the same feeling. Obviously, also just because Feely and Keely are my favorites. And anything that we have in common is a great thing. Fantastic.
Feely.
And Keely.
At your service.
And finally, there's this line that I've been saying to myself in my head for literally years now, and I only realized the other day that I made it up. I thought it was from Lord of the Rings, but I basically combined parts of Galadriel's speeches to make a really inspirational and motivational saying for myself. I kind of like to imagine Galadriel when she's, like she's reaching down to pull Frodo up, and I like to imagine her saying, this too shall come to pass. Not realizing I'd mixed that up when they're looking into the mirror, and she's like, things that were, things that are, and some things that have not yet come to pass. And I was like, oh, I just made that into something else. It comes in handy a lot. I say it to myself anytime I have something I don't want to do. Whether it's like physical pain, you stub your toe and you're like, oh god, this is the worst day ever. Galadriel, this too shall come to pass. You're taking this really awful test. My life seems to be centered around awful tests. This too shall come to pass. So there you have it. That's all my top most used phrases in real life from Lord of the Rings. Thanks for watching it, if you stuck around that long. Hey, guess what, guys? None of those videos are actually mine, because I didn't make those. I'm not Peter Jackson. I'm a cat. Meow. But if you like that, you should totally go check out my Tumblr, because it's down in the links. Okay.